युगधर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So we'll chant these auspicious prayers. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hukam karoti vachalam pangam langhayate girim yat kripatam mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone for our Sunday evening Gita class. More than a class today, it's a very, very auspicious day. As I already said in my voice message, I don't know how many of you heard it. Yesterday I sent. So this is the whole month of Kartik that is going on. It is described ideally the entire year we should do devotional service. But kya kare, busy rehte hain na, we are busy. So Lord is like, okay, chalo koi baat nahi. Do at least for 1 month. I've invested all my potency in this 1 month. But then 1 month also becomes difficult for people. So Lord is like, at least last 5 days you do, Baba. At least last 5 days. Thoda time nikal le, last 5 days. So these last 5 days of Kartik is called as Bhishma Panchak. The vrata, this vrata was done by Bhishma Dev. And it is very, very powerful. What is the difference between these days and the other ordinary days? These days, Lord have created just so that we people who are not very qualified not to attain the spiritual platform will also be able to attain the spiritual platform. Because we know how busy we are in our day-to-day life, our thought process becomes so contaminated with time. Yes? But Lord's mercy is this, that He gives us the shortcuts these days so that we can advance faster. And literally, I've seen in my own life and the lives of my students, the ones who have followed these vratas, they've advanced very, very fast. Very fast. When we say advancement, it talks about the consistency of our practice. When we talk about advancement, it talks about the realizations. See, we hear in the class, that remains theory. When that gets converted into a realization, that's actually an advancement in spiritual life. Now, what is the realization? जब दिमाग की बत्ती जल जाए. When there's a bulb within which is glowing, that is realization. So let's begin. Today's topic is very, very important. The topic of mind control. Many people struggle with it. One of my students who was into something related to psychology or psychiatry got some issue with the mind. He quit his job and he has gone now for a different job. I was wondering, this mind is such a culprit which does not leave even the doctors. So let's discuss, and I'm sure today's session is going to be very connecting and very practical, for everyone, because everyone is troubled by the mind. There's no one on this planet, no one in this entire creation who can say that I'm free from the problems of the mind. So let's begin. I would request you all to come forward because towards the end, there are some devotees called as prasad devotees. They'll come for prasad at the end. So we should leave some space for them to sit. And we can always have space between the males and females. That's always an etiquette in the spiritual circles. There's a lot of space here this side. You can come. Yes. So the space can be maintained always. That will be good. Thank you. Thank you. So we're discussing from Bhagavad Gita, and we dedicate this presentation to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I'm sure last weekend, now my superior had come, my instructor, my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Harikshetra Prabhu, and I'm sure you have heard a lot of glories of Srila Prabhupada last Sunday. I gave a class in some other center, so I invited Prabhuji here to give class. So very elevated soul, His Grace Harikshetra Prabhu. For many years he's practicing Krishna consciousness. So you can imagine, being a monk for many years, it's not a joke. He has been. So it's a very big thing. So I'm sure you've heard a lot of glories of Prabhupada. And literally by the mercy of Prabhupada, today, many, many things have become accessible for us when it comes to spiritual life. I think coming together like this on a Sunday evening, which is a prime time for shopping, it's by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Today morning I was giving class in some other place. So I was telling that anyone and everyone who comes to our sessions, who sits in our session attentively and hears, they're not ordinary, for sure. In this age of Kali Yuga, to get a desire to hear from Bhagavad Gita is not ordinary. In this age of Kali Yuga, to get a desire to advance in spiritual life is surely not ordinary. So I always say that these Sunday evening sessions, they're not ordinary because we have all extraordinary people sitting. And the topics which are discussed are extraordinary. And the destination which we are aiming at is also extraordinary. Yes? So let's begin the session. Mind your mind. Now let's understand first the nature of the mind. So all of us, I'm sure, whenever we are into some decision making, have you all heard two voices from within? Everyone? Yes? Huh? There'll be one voice which will say, do it. Another voice which will say, don't do it. Abhi kare to kya kare? So let's try to understand here clearly that one of the voice is actually the mind. Another voice is intelligence. We'll speak about it more now. Let's chant the shloka, everyone. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kammano buddhir evacha ahamkara itiyam me Bhinna Prakriti Rashtadha. Someone from ladies can read the translation.
Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these eight constitute my separated material energies.
So I'm sure all of us know the Pancha Mahabhutas: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Yes. And then, okay, by the way, that constitutes our gross body. You remember the session? Gross body, subtle body. The gross body is what you see. So earth, water, fire, air, ether. This is what are the constituents of this gross body. The other three, mind, intelligence, and false ego, they are the constituents of the subtle body. So, for your information, I'm sure you remember, both gross and subtle body, they are material. There's nothing spiritual in that. Spirit soul, which is there inside the gross and subtle body, That is called as spiritual. Hmm. Now here let's try to understand much in a much deeper way the five gross elements which are there. Now in the ether, I'm sure in the school days, we might have heard sound propagates through ether. Now we cannot see ether, correct? But we can hear through ether. That is sound. So when it comes to ether, our sense of hearing gets activated. Hmm. Now the next one, when it comes to air, along with sense of hearing, what else will get activated? Feel, right? Sense of touch, that gets activated. Now when it comes to the fire, now see we are going grosser, okay? Ether we cannot see, but we can hear. When it comes to air, we cannot see again, but we can hear and we can feel. Now the next thing, that is fire. There is sound, you can hear, you can feel. You have felt, no, everyone? Huh? Okay. The next thing, that is you can see. The sense of our seeing is also activated. Now, when it comes to water, we can hear, we can feel, we can see, and we can taste. Our sense of tongue or taste gets activated. Now, when it comes to earth, so we can hear, see, feel, taste, and smell. In Bangalore, we cannot smell, but I'm sure when it comes to the villages, all of you might have gone to villages. When it rains, oh, what aroma that is, isn't it? Amazing aroma of the earth. It feels so nice, smelling that. Now, if you let's invert it. So from earth to ether, you see how it becomes subtler and subtler and subtler and subtler. In earth, all the five elements in our body, five senses are activated, and slowly as you go subtler and subtler till the ether, only the hearing is activated. Now you go more subtler, that is mind. More subtler than ether is mind. Mind, you cannot understand anything. Yes, it is something which is very, very subtle. And more subtler than that is intelligence. And more subtler than that is false ego. And more subtler than that is we, the spirit soul, which cannot be understood just like that. So here it's a very, very important point to note that mind is a material element. It's not spiritual, and it's the subtler element, even subtler than the five Panchamahabhutas. Now, I made this point before also, but still I would like to emphasize on this point. Many times, people, when they go to a spiritual organization, their expectation is not proper. Normally, what do people expect? When they are going to a so called spiritual organization, what do they want? Peace of mind. And many of the spiritual organizations, they call themselves spiritual, but then they are offering peace of mind. Peace of mind. Yes? So now here we said mind is material. And you are going to spiritual organization searching for peace of mind, which is material. Is it the right expectation? So those organizations which are just offering peace of mind, how can you call that as spiritual? Whenever you say spiritual, what should we talk about? Spirit soul, correct? We should talk about spirit soul. So when these organizations they call themselves spiritual is not correct. They can call themselves as maybe doctors of mind. Yes, something related to psychology, psychiatry, or whatever, but they cannot call it spiritual. So you will never see me talking about peace of mind in these sessions. In fact, I am very known for agitating people through my talk. So we are not here to get peace of mind. We are seeking something higher. And that seeking of something higher on the spiritual platform, what will happen? All these different byproducts we will get. Peace of mind, bliss, happiness, etc., etc., etc. Whatever people are searching in this world. That is just mere byproduct. Just imagine attaining the spiritual perfection. How great that will be. So in this way, we understand mind is material. And mind works on the basis of likes and dislikes. Whenever you say, no, I like it, I don't like it. Where is it coming from? It's coming from the mind. Shastras say that acceptance and rejection is the quality of mind. So whenever on social media, when you're pressing that like button, who is liking it? It's you or it's mind? Yes. So in this way, we understand that mind works on the principle of likes and dislikes. I think I had already told this in one of our class. Now is the time to go deeper. What is that thing? Let's try to understand. Where are these likes and dislikes getting decided from? A very important topic. I request all of you to pay attention. Now, this will help you to analyze a lot of things in your day to day life. Where are these likes and dislikes coming from? So, this is what is the question that we'll try to answer now. On what basis does the mind decide likes and dislikes? And the answer is samskara. Have you heard samskara word? People say, क्या संस्कार है इसके? वाह कितने अच्छे संस्कार है, right? Samskar basically means impression on the mind. In English, it means impression on the mind. Now let's try to go deeper in this word samskar. What is this? Now, whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we feel, smell, etc., it actually makes an impression on the mind. Hmm. Say now I ask you one question. Just if we do an activity saying, okay, please tell me about your childhood. Now you will not be able to tell about your childhood moment to moment, isn't it? But you'll be able to tell about your childhood some incidences which has made a very great impact on your mind, isn't it? Hmm? Strong impression. Some teacher, which insulted you like anything in front of everyone, and you can never forget her. That tight slap which she gave, the first tight slap which we got in our life, or some critical situation which we went through. Now, some turmoil in life, may be it in our family, be it in relatives, or whatever, and we have seen that, or some accident which we met, isn't it? So, all these we remember, and those are the ones which have made strong impression, so we remember, right? It's a very important thing to note when it comes to samskar, it is not just from this life. This is a very tricky thing to note. Hmm. Samskaras are also from past many, many lifetimes. Because when there is soul transmigration, when a person dies, so gross body is gone, but subtle body remains. So when the soul is moving from one gross body to another gross body, what happens? The subtle body also travels. Everyone remembers this? Yes? So the memory is stored in subtle body. Where is the memory stored? Mind and intelligence. Yes? So impressions are there in the mind, the memory is there in the mind. Hmm. So now when the soul is transmigrating from one body to another at the time of death, so what is basically happening? The memory is also transferred. That's why, and what is the proof for this? Any proof you want to give? I think I told in the class. Huh? What? Okay, past life memory, but some I don't know how to express. And what else? Past life memory then? Phobia. You remember phobia? We spoke about phobia. Yes. Now, right from childhood, some people have phobia of height, of water. I remember we had gone for a yatra. We call it as yatra. By the way, very soon we are going to organize a yatra for all of you from 24th. अरे एकदम खुश. So the as of now, the tentative plan is 24th and 25th December, and the tentative location is Ahobalam. So we are still working out, various. You know Ahobalam? No? It's another nice Narsimha Kshetra, very beautiful. One of my favorite place. And 2 days of katha, 2 days of sessions, 2 days of kirtan, mantra meditation, etc., etc. So tentatively planning is going on. As I think next week we should be able to freeze. We'll keep you all informed. Don't plan anything. 24, 25th. Anyways, so these phobias of height and things like that. So when we had gone for a yatra, we all were playing in the water, in the river, Kaveri River in Sri Rangapatnam. So one boy was standing very far, and everyone was pulling him, come, come. And he was like, no, no, no. He was so fearful. I asked him what happened. He said, no, I have phobia of water. I बोला, अरे बाथरूम में स्नान कैसे करता है? Anyways, that is one. Another thing which you can note is right from childhood, we have some likes and dislikes. Till date, I don't know right from childhood why I don't like tomatoes. I don't know. I don't like, but you know. So every child will have some likes and dislikes. They have not seen the world yet. but still they have some likes and dislikes. So in this way, these likes, dislikes, these different phobias, etc., they're coming from past life, and that proves that there are impressions which are retained from past life. And there are many impressions which are made in the current life also. And how are these impressions made? We have to understand this very clearly now. The environment around us makes an impression. People around us make impression. Whatever we see, whatever we hear makes an impression, right? Today morning I was giving a class about something similar. Second chapter, shloka number 62. Now which talks about dhyayato vishayan pumsah sangasteshu upajayate. Whatever we contemplate on creates a serious attachment. Hmm. Now, how do we start contemplating on something? Simple example you can take of shopping complex, shopping mall. See, before what used to happen, there used to be a table and in the shop, and then all the things will be behind. You ask the shopkeeper, he'll get it. But the marketing industry has used this very nicely. Concept of samskara, by the way. Let me explain how. So they keep showing things again and again and again, right? क्या तुम्हारे टूथपेस्ट में look at this. Yes. In fact, after some time they started saying कि आपके टूथपेस्ट में lemon है, नमक है. I was just thinking now, if you want to make a lemonade, just put the toothpaste and mix it. You don't need anything else. See, just by telling that, you are able to reply. Now, when we see something, what happens? An impression is made. Okay? When you see that again, the same impression goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then when you go to the mall, to that section where you have to purchase the paste, without thinking twice, your hand will go to that paste which has. Can you see how our mind works? Yes. So these are the different impressions. Next time when you go to a shopping complex, you can analyze for yourself. Recently, I was going through to a different place on the road. So two, three jockey, this came shops. So there it was a jockey or nothing. Now I was just thinking, if someone keeps seeing that again and again and again, next time when he goes to buy some undergarment, he'll think, I should buy jockey only, or it's nothing. Yes. So these amazing taglines, the marketing industry is amazing. They know very well how to tap the interest of people, how to nicely program them, and next time when they go for shopping, they know what to buy. It's only our product or nothing. So in this way, marketing industry is using this concept of samskar very nicely. You watch that again and again and again, and there will be a strong impression. And another thing you can note in the advertisements, it will be very colorful. It will be very colorful, and the dialogues will be like punchlines, something that you can connect with your own life. So all that when we see, we are able to focus on it nicely, and with that focus, a very, very strong impression is created on the mind. So in this way, we understand that samskaras are created. I remember one of my aunt stays nearby, so her daughter, when she was in first standard. So I had gone to their house, and then she was busy watching, and then she was telling, "No, I am very much eager to see tomorrow this particular serial." I said, "What's going to happen in that?" "The hero is going to propose the heroine." "No, no, which class you are in?" "First standard." "Do you know the meaning of propose also?" So even if they don't know, just by seeing that, there's an impression. And I've seen kids nowadays, they literally have all the dialogues by heart. Ekdam. Again and again, they see the same thing. Dialogues are by heart. So in this way, we see how samskaras are made. Strong impressions. But more importantly, samskaras are made, but more importantly, wrong samskaras are made. That's the problem. That's the problem. Everyone is saying, earn more money. That is what is the goal of life. And literally, there's a rat race that is going on. People are running, running, running. And you stop them and ask, why are you running? I don't know. Everyone is running. I'm also running. I know some people like that, running, running, and you just stop them and you ask them, why? What's wrong with you? Everyone is doing that. If I don't do, I'll be a different person altogether. So, a samskara is made, but then that samskara set a wrong goal. a wrong goal. Nowadays, when kids practice bhakti, parents feel it's out of fashion. I remember few of my students, their parents got to know that they're chanting Hare Krishna. They were telling, Hare, don't do all this. In old age, you have to do all this, not now. Now, such a wrong goal this is. Old age. First, the question is, are you going to live till the old age? There's a big illusion that I'm going to live for another 50 years. Big illusion. Who knows? No, we can die anytime. Anytime. It's not a pessimistic thought. It's a practical thought. We can die anytime. But the fact is that people have set a wrong goal. As soon as they hear Bhagavad Gita, as soon as they hear chanting of the holy names, people are like, oh, not now. Retirement time. At a retirement time, if you sit, you cannot stand. If you stand, you cannot sit. You cannot see things clearly. You cannot hear things clearly. You cannot clear your bowel system in the morning. You cannot, chew food properly. At that time, when your tongue is swollen and you're not able to hear, you'll chant Hare Krishna. Now only people are not able to chant. Yes. Now only I've seen some old people, they cannot remember the holy name. How, tell me, how difficult is it to remember Hare Krishna? Very simple. But there are people they cannot. Because the memory loss will be always there. To such an extent that you cannot remember a simple mantra. Now the society has created such a wrong impression on people and made such a wrong goal saying spirituality is for old age. And literally, this is what the entire society feels. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada that he has changed this perspective. Where all youngsters are sitting, all young couples are sitting to hear Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, wrong goals are set. And to such an extent that parents also are behind kids. You should become this, you should become that. But they never tell that you should become a nice devotee, you should become a nice human being. No parent tells that. Every parent wants a kid to be an engineer, doctor, this, that, this, that. Now become a slave in some other company. That's what is the training right from childhood. And you ask the child, what do you want to become? They'll tell whatever they have heard. Whatever they've heard. Yes. One child was telling, taking a tangent. I asked normally kids, so what are you planning? Are you planning to marry, or you want to become a monk like me? They're like, no, bro, I'll marry. Then I said, and what's the next plan? I'll have 4 kids. I said, 4? Why? No, bro, you see, when I'll do the arti, my wife will assist me. No, sorry, one kid will assist me. And then when my wife is singing the kirtan, so another kid will play mridanga. And when the arti is done, who will give the arti to everyone? One more kid is needed. I'm like, amazing, amazing. And many ads which are there and the talks of people actually creates a lot of wrong goals. Trust me, unless and until you don't hear Bhagavad Gita, you don't read it, don't go deeper in spiritual life, you'll never be able to correct that wrong samskaras which are there. As parents, we'll never be able to do justice, to our kids, because we ourselves are creating wrong impressions on them. You should do this, you should do that. Yes. So in this way, wrong impressions are created, wrong goals are set by what? Whatever we hear around, whatever we see around, whatever we interact with people. Hope this point is very clear. Can you all name some video editing softwares, photo editing softwares? Photoshop is there, yes. Yes. Huh? iMovie. Yes. Yes. Canva. See, small kids are raising hands. Yes. Camtasia is there. Canva is there. But you know what? The best editing software is the mind. I'll tell you how. When you watch a movie, and then when you go to sleep at night, either the hero is changed or the heroine is changed. I hope you got it what I said. And literally, you will see, you will not be able to there will be no flaw in that cutout. Okay, I will make it more explicit. So the men will take the hero's place and the female will take the heroine's place. At times, you'll see, you have seen some movie or you have seen some photo or whatever. And in the dream, literally that person will be replaced, with ourselves. This happened with me once. What happened is my friend had sent me his marriage photos. I need not explain. But still, I would like to tell I was in the ashram. And on that day, I got married twice in my dream. And I was sweating like anything. And then when I opened my eyes, okay, I'm still in the ashram. I'm still safe. So in this way, how is that happening? Basically, all that impressions that we have, the mind concocts everything and then it presents as a very nice image or a video. Our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada says, the mind sees the mountain and the mind sees the gold. And in the dream, we get golden mountain. Yes. Now when I'm speaking, your mind is telling, various things. Yes. That's what the mind does all the time. Now let's try to go deep out from Belgaum. So one lady, she got COVID. Husband got to know that, and he got heart attack and he died. And she got recovered and she came back. Now you can just imagine that how much the mind might have magnified the scene in the person's existence. Horrible, horrible. Now at times when these problems are magnified, people lose their confidence. When people come for counseling to me, so I'll ask various questions to them and they say, Prabhuji, huge problem I have in my life. I said, yes, tell me, what's that? And they'll start and start and start, and literally I'll find that it will be this much and mine is magnified like anything. And when this happens, I've seen people lose their confidence, self-confidence. It will be difficult for them to move ahead in their life and cross that problem. This is what the mind does. It magnifies the problem. And magnifies the problem. So anytime, when you are seeing a problem to be very big, always remember it will be a magnified version of the original one. It will never be the original one. Mind has this quality of magnifying. Have you all experienced this, by the way? Yes, few of you? Yes. The next one. We have volume. Chandra, check volume is there. Next one is infinite thoughts. All of you understand Hindi? Anyways, the video is in Hindi only. I cannot do anything. There, huh?
पता नहीं सबको क्या बात करनी है। अरे विवेक, I want to talk to you something. Yes. चलो अभी तो तुम निकलो, मंडे को बात करते हैं, ओके? पता नहीं सबको क्या बात करनी है। कहीं मेरा प्रोजेक्ट तो नहीं चेंज होना, कहीं मेरा रिव्यू तो नहीं है मंडे को, बॉस को कोई पता तो नहीं लग गया कि मैं अपनी मंथली की वीडियो अपने जॉब से बनवा सर, हाँ सर, आप कह रहे थे कुछ जरूरी बात करनी। अरे हाँ, मैं कह रहा था तुम शादी कब कर रहे हो? खबर नहीं दी यार। सर ये बात करनी थी आपको? हाँ यही कह रहा था। चलो चाय पी जाते हैं।
So I'm sure how many of you have gone through this? Yes, infinite thoughts. You'll see something and you'll go and you'll just join, link, and then where it goes, you never know. Right? Literally, we'll never know. This is called as uncontrolled thoughts. Uncontrolled thoughts. Infinite thoughts. And literally, there are many people who are struggling with this, in day-to-day life. Struggling like anything. And this infinite thoughts which are there, that creates a lot of negativity. These people who have this problem with infinite thoughts, they cannot remain peaceful. Very difficult. Now, before I was doing this service, online counseling service at ISKCON Desire Tree, which is an international website. So my mail ID was there on the website. So I would get a lot of mails. So once I had got one mail where he had presented his thought process, what problem he is going through, and that was 60-page document. And it was so dirty, I couldn't read half the page. I was like, if I would have read at least one page, I would have got completely contaminated. Such dirty thought process was there in there. And he was saying it's uncontrollable. And these are the people who cannot sleep at night. Ek ki baat, uncontrolled thoughts. So this you have to remember that this is the way the mind works, infinite thoughts. Infinite thoughts. It will just see something, link, 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 and then it will, I don't know where it will take you, some childhood memory somewhere here and there. Now also when you're hearing me, you're there or linking something and going somewhere. आपका smile बता रहा है सब कुछ. That's the trick of the mind, always, always. So M magnifies the problem. I, infinite thoughts. Next thing is N, never in present. Mind is always known to jump from past to future, future to past to future, future to past. Right? Even in the class when you people are sitting, past to future, future to past, suddenly in present. When everyone is laughing. When some strong point is made. So in this way we see the mind works like this. It does not allow us to be in the present. You know what? Why the productivity level of people is very less? Yesterday I was hearing one discourse, and very nicely the speaker was telling. He was making this point that naturally for every single human being who is not a spiritualist, only 10% of his consciousness will be absorbed in doing that work. Only 10% productive that person will be. Why? Because the other 90%, the mind will take the person to past, present, past, present. Past to correct the problem or whatever went wrong, and future to make plans. Past, present, past, future, past, future. So in this, what happens is the person's entire existence goes in thinking about past and future. Past you cannot change, simple. Future you don't know. At least after coming to Gita class, you'll know very well. Now future depends on your past karma. Now we don't know what karma we have, what is there in our bank, the Papa and Punya account. We don't know. So what is going to manifest, we don't know. So thinking about future is again useless. So in this way, we understand the mind always takes the person to past or future, and this reduces the productivity of people. And I've seen right from the time people start practicing spirituality, especially mantra meditation, the mind is somewhat calmed down, because mantra basically means mantra. Manastrayate iti mantra. That which delivers the mind is mantra. So when we actually do mantra meditation, this problem is solved to a very, very great extent, because mantra meditation has to be done in present. You have to hear the current mantra. You cannot think about the future mantra or past mantra, right? So spirituality, bhakti yoga brings the person to the present. And I've seen this so many times in so many people's life, that they are so productive and so great, in their activities. Especially I've seen my superiors, my God, multiple things they'll keep doing in a day, and they'll be completely focused and productive all the time. Even when they're not well. Even when they're not well. Right? So this is never in present. So being in the moment is a buzzword. And if we can do that, trust me, we can progress in material life like anything. We can advance in spiritual life like anything. And all that is needed is being in the moment. Like all of you are currently there, no? Yes. Okay, yes, being in the moment. So M magnifies the problem. I, infinite thoughts. N, never in present. D is distraction. Should I explain this? I think it's self-explanatory. Distraction. It's very natural to be distracted. That small LED on the mobile is enough. Yes? And a little, some thought, some person said something few days ago. That is enough for us to get distracted when you're doing some really focused work. So in this way, we understand that all that samskar that we have in our mind, all that manifests randomly every now and then. Sometimes the thoughts are so nasty and so abominable that we cannot share with anyone also. Sometimes we think so wrong, so negative about some people. So where is it all coming from? Distraction. That is there. The mind distracts us from the right thing and always puts in some unnecessary things, which are literally unnecessary, and takes us away from the right path. Many times, parents will get their kids and say, "Bro, ये focus नहीं कर पा रहा है." अरे, are you able to focus? Many times, kids will say, प्रभु जी अगर ये पढ़ाई करेगा ना, if he studies well, no, he will score very nicely. But what to do? He get distracted every now and then. अरे क्या करे, माइंड है ना उसको भी, तो क्या डिस्ट्रैक्शन तो होगा ही. And today's day and age, to be very frank, every single thing around us distracts us. You see that Marathali, that big LED, whatever, that's called as what noise that is? Visual noise. Visual noise. You see the advertisements, you see various things. Literally, all of them, they're so distracting. And now we're so distracted that if there is something still, we cannot connect with that. We want something that is very, very distracting. You remember, I don't know if I've given this example here. In the old movies, yes, in a song, the heroine will wear the same cloth throughout. Music will be very nice, even the scene will be the same throughout. And they'll run in slow motion. Yes. If you show these movies, to the kids now, they'll say, "Arey, bhag jaldi." Itna slow. Current movie songs, etc. You see, now I stopped a decade back, but I'm sure even at that time it was like huge. Every single steps will be like changing, and the color of the dress will keep changing, the scene will keep changing. Yes, and if that is not the case, we'll not be able to focus. We'll not be able to focus because that's how distracted we have become. Now, where is this visual aid that is coming now for small kids? Whatever poetry and this and that. So I was seeing those, they're so distracting. No, so many things will keep moving, and the kid will be watching like this. And when it comes to parents, before the parents say, "See the moon," and then they'll feed. Nowadays, the only thing they have to do is give the mobile on the YouTube and keep feeding. So this is what is happening. Because of the gadgets, because of so many things around which are so distracting, naturally the mind is distracted with so many impressions. That is for D, distraction. So whenever we are getting distracted, no, we shouldn't be so surprised in life. Oh, why I got distracted? Normal. And when the kids are getting distracted, no, be calm. But their mind is there what to do. But again, the same thing. If someone does mantra meditation, this problem of distraction will reduce. Whatever problems we're discussing, all that can be reduced by the mantra meditation. So it's very, very important. Every parent should do and shouldn't tell the kid to do. Every parent should do and kid will automatically get inspired to do. M magnifies the problem. I, infinite thoughts. N, never in present. D, distraction. And the last one, stress and anxiety. See, all of us, we know we are unique. See, everyone sitting here in this hall, everyone's face is different. Every feature of the face is different. Even twins, they have different facial features, different thought process. Everything is different, unique. But still, there's a problem of comparison. As soon as we'll be peaceful in life, and as soon as we see something better, what other person has, that one impression on the mind is enough for us to become very stressful. Oh, I don't have. So much of anxiety. So much of anxiety will be there. There is one story of 99. So there was a king who was always very stressed. And then when he was passing by in his kingdom, he saw a very poor person who was there, very happy, blissful, calm. So he talked with his minister. How come he is so calm? Get him distracted. Get him stressed. So the minister said, I will use the 99 formula. And you know what he did? In the middle of the night, he went and kept 99 gold coins in a pouch outside his room. Next day morning, the poor person staying in a hut, he opens the door and he starts counting. He finds that he's very happy, gold coins. And then he starts counting. 1, 2, he's so happy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 90, 91, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. And he's searching. He's searching. And from that day on, his life was so miserable to make it 100. अरे भिखारी था, He's a beggar, a pauper. He didn't have single penny at his home. 99 gold coins are there, but now he's so stressed to get that one more gold coin to make it 100. This is the problem that the mind always triggers. Unnecessary comparison because of whatever we have seen around. Whatever we have seen around. And our life is made so miserable by this mood of comparison. And that all will happen because of the impressions on the mind. Whatever we see, whatever we hear. I've seen this. I don't know what is the funda behind this. But whenever some relative come or whoever is going to come, entire house will be decorated very nicely. Whatever things are inside the cupboard will be kept outside. Sorry. And sometimes, when you go for marriages, again, as a monk, I cannot go. So I stopped long time back. But whatever marriages I've attended before, it's very difficult to understand also who is the bride in that place. All the gold on the body. जो भी घर में पूरा एकदम, yes, best of the best sari, best of the best suit, best of the best शेरवानी. मुझे समझ नहीं आता शादी किसकी है, उसकी है कि तुम्हारी है? Why so much? And then there will be so much of comparison happening here and there. And then one of our devotee was telling, when we go to marriages, it's a big task. My wife will come back and she'll say, uske paas wo hai, you have not given me this. What's wrong with you? Etc. 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 I'm just giving a very trivial example which all of you might have come across. But there are many, many major things which happen in life because of this. To such an extent that the person gets into depression. The person tends to commit suicide. So much of stress because of this comparison. So much of stress because of people around who keep speaking something or the other. So in this way, the mind picks up from anywhere and everywhere. Impression is made, and that leads to MINDS. M magnifies the problem. Every time you remember, whenever you have a problem and it's seemingly big, remember it's not that big. Always remember, it's just magnified. Infinite thoughts. This you can stop only by doing mantra meditation. That stopper, that full stop, can be added only by mantra meditation. N. Never in present. It always in past or future. Mind has these two wings. Spirituality is the way to cut those two wings. D. Distractions. Mind will get distracted naturally because of all the impressions that we have. And finally, S. Stress and anxiety. It will create so much of stress and anxiety and lead the person handicapped finally. So here is a question for all of you. So mind is our friend or enemy?
If treated properly.
If treated properly. Condition applied. What else?
Take right impressions.
Take right impressions, okay? Then? Mind is friend or enemy? Who say friend? Who say enemy? Who say both? Arey, so many. Let's ask Krishna. See the answer of the Lord in Bhagavad Gita. How precise, apt, amazing answer. Is the mind our friend or enemy? Here is the answer. Krishna is answering. 6th chapter, shloka number 6. Please repeat. Bandhuratmatmanastasya येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तितात्मैव शत्रुवत्. Someone from Prabhuji's can read the translation.
For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind remains the greatest enemy.
Dekha answer. The ones whose mind is controlled is best of friends, and ones whose mind is uncontrolled is worst of enemy. अभी बताइए आप लोग का माइंड कंट्रोल्ड है कि अनकंट्रोल्ड है? तो फ्रेंड है कि एनिमी है? But it's not just enemy, It is the worst of the worst enemy in the disguise of a friend. That's why you all said both. Both. See, when you have an enemy and you know this person is my enemy, you can keep a safe distance. But if someone is your enemy and is acting like a friend, that is the most dangerous personality to handle. You never know how that person will actually harm you. Can you imagine such a person is always there with us? Bapre. Huge. Dangerous. Very, very dangerous. That's why, see, whenever you do some spiritual activity, especially chanting, so you're looking at the bead bag, and you're thinking, अभी वो टकला तो इतना बोलता है कि chant करो, mantra meditation. So should I chant? And the mind will say, "Arey, what is to worry? Later, chant later. Have breakfast now. Then exam now. Then you'll be ready. Then chant." And then no. After breakfast, you have so much of office. So finish that, and in between, when you have break, 10 minutes. No, only 10 minutes. Then do. Then later, and literally वो रात हो जाती है. And sometimes people ask, bro, ये रात को chant करो चलेगा? How many of us have experienced this? Genuinely हाथ उठाइए, ठीक है? Spirituality में एकदम genuine होना चाहिए. हाँ, ठीक है. And see, all of you know, when you come to the Sunday class, you are benefited. Now the class will be from Gita. There's so much to learn. When we do mantra meditation, it is so nice. When we attend Aarti, it is so divine. All of us know. But at times, there will be a thought that comes. Jao, should I really go or not? The mind will post that. If you're attracted very nicely, if you have that strong conviction, you can overcome that and you can come to this place. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Today, around 130 people have said yes, they will come. And I don't see 120 people here. What happened to the rest? Mind's trick. Should I go? And the mind, oh, what do you need? Watch online YouTube. To hey. So in this way, the mind will always keep tricking. One of the biggest trick which the mind does with the spiritualists or spiritual aspirants is, let me become stable in life, then I'll practice bhakti. Many times I hear this, from people. They might be going through some problem, some health issue, some monetary issue, some relationship issue, and they have this, let me become stable in life, and then I will chant. Then I'll become serious. Now see, understand, this word is called as ashashvatam. It means temporary. Say, you are on the mobile floor. In Delhi airport, we have that mobile floor. You stand on that and you just move. Now you're standing on the mobile floor and you're like, no, I don't want to move. Arey pagal, you're standing on a mobile floor, it will move. You desire or you don't desire, it will move. Now we are in a world which is called as ashashvatam, which is moving all the time. And what are we expecting? Oh, I'll become stable one day. Then I'll start my spirituality. It doesn't work. It's a very negative thought, but please take it from me. Never in our life will become stable. That's what is all about all this material world. We will think that I've reached the stage of stability and then disturbed. I think one COVID is enough for that. Those people who are like very well-to-do, stable, etc., like mesmerized. No, mesmerized is not the right word. Completely devastated. Yes. So in this way, one thing we have to understand, whenever the mind says become stable, then practice bhakti, it is just the trick of the mind. It's the worst of the enemy. It will never allow us to progress on the path of bhakti. You know why? Death means gross body is given up, subtle body is still there. That is reincarnation. And what is liberation, Giving up subtle body also. Giving up subtle body also is the liberation. So means mind does not want to separate from you. And when it comes to spirituality, the mind will keep tricking every now and then. See, I've been a preacher from quite some time now. Hundreds of people have come for our session. But I've seen out of that, few people become serious in their spiritual practice, become very sincere and consistent in their spiritual practice. Why? This culprit, this worst of the worst enemy, does not allow the person to move ahead. The person has interest. The person wants to do it, but the mind will keep tricking and tricking and tricking. So I always say, always tell my students that always take suggestion of your mentors. Very, very important. Spiritual mentors in life is very important. Next class, I'm going to announce the spiritual mentors for each and every one of you. So to have spiritual mentors is very, very important. Whenever the mind tricks, immediately we should call and ask whatever doubt we have. Sometimes, people see some unnecessary videos, of ISKCON, and there's so much of negativity is there about ISKCON, on the internet. Now, which is a lot of which is fake. Now people watch that and they're like, oh, we shouldn't go to that place. Arey Baba, you're coming to that place and you're enriched so much. Just one video and the mind tricks. So much. So it's very, very important to note that Mind will keep tricking us and will not allow us to advance in bhakti. But if the same mind is trained very nicely and controlled very nicely, it will act as best of friends. That will tell you, "Arey, chant nahi kya, chant kar." Yes? This is a very, very important point to note. But is it easy to control the mind? Arjuna is also saying no. Let's chant the shloka. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Pramati balavadridam Tasyaham nigraham manye Vayor eva sudushkaram. Yes. Read the translation. Someone from ladies, Mataji's.
Mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think is more difficult than controlling the will.
So here Arjuna is saying, हमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. Krishna, I cannot do it. Why? Chanchalam, restless. It's restless, always chanchalam. You know, mind is compared to a monkey. Monkey, you all know how restless it is. But mind is not just compared to monkey. Now just imagine monkey is so restless. Now say you feed the monkey with alcohol. How restless it will become. And after that, no, some 10 scorpions are biting the monkey. How restless it will become. It is described mind is much more restless than such a type of monkey. You can imagine how restless it is. Here you all are sitting. Tell me frankly, how many of you went out of this door and came back? Natural. We'll go visit the house, come back, go inside the altar, come back, see what prasad is there, come back. Mind is like that. Chanchalam, always turbulent. That is pramati, turbulent. Balavat, very, very strong. And dridam is like always determined. And it's always ziddhi, always ziddhi. Mind is such a thing that whatever it is telling, if you don't do, it will keep shouting and shouting and shouting. I'm sure parents might have experienced this. This is how the mind behaves. If you don't do what it says. How's that? This is exactly how the mind behaves, This is exactly how the mind means there'll be so much of shouting from within. Now see, I've heard the class. You're coming for the Gita class. You know what is right, what is wrong now, theoretically. Now say a negative thought comes and it is forcing you to do the sinful activity. From inside you'll say, no, I'll not do. And the mind will shout more, do it. And no, I'll not do. Do it. And you'll increase sound, increase, and then you'll end up doing it. And then you'll start feeling guilty. This is how the mind behaves. It will shout and shout and shout. So in this way, the mind is very obstinate, ziddhi. Yes? So this is our current situation. I'm sure all of you know this analogy. What are the 5 horses? The rope? Mind. The rope is mind. The person holding the rope? Intelligence. The person sitting is the soul. Entire chariot is our body. Now see, what happens is, ideally, intelligence should be greater and stronger than the mind. Then the intelligence can control the mind. But what happens is, the intelligence becomes weak and it leaves the rope, and the rope is mind, it can do anything now. That's how a person becomes uncontrolled. And when the mind takes over the intelligence, mind starts dictating the intelligence what to do. Natural situation, ideal situation is the mind should obey what the intelligence says. But in our state, when our mind is uncontrolled, what happens is the mind dictates, intelligence will follow. I have a very simple example. We'll snooze the alarm every day. Yes. See, there will be some times when we have a very important meeting or whatever. You have planned your entire day. Unusually, you're getting up early, say 5:30 a.m. Hmm? And you have planned from 5:30 to 6, I'll take bath. 6 to 7, no, I'll do this. 7 to 8, I'll do this. 8 o'clock, I have to leave. I have to travel. Very, very important meeting, and then you know it's very important and you want to do it. But then you slept very late previous night, and the alarm rings, and the mind is telling you, you're tired, sleep. You're tired, sleep. And then at that time, see what happens, at that time. I'm sure many of you might have experienced this. The intelligence will start planning. How 15 minutes you can sleep. So half an hour you planned for taking bath. So take bath in 15 minutes. Snooze. Yes. And then again, after 15 minutes, alarm rings, and then again the mind is saying, "Oh, you like to sleep, Baba, sleep. No, you sleep." And then the mind and the intelligence will support. Yeah, yeah, you sleep because you'll not be able to give the presentation properly. Sleep nicely. And then the planning starts. And what is the planning? The planning is another 15 minutes. And now half an hour is gone. See, we consciously know we have slept for more than half an hour. Yes? Or half an hour we have slept. So the planning is, okay, so you have kept half an hour for breakfast, right? Finish in 15 minutes. So you put everything in such a way that you keep snoozing the alarm one after another. Obviously, this might not happen every day because now we are so used to snoozing the alarm, there's no need of planning only. Yes. But at times, this might be a situation. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that somehow or the other, the mind dictates and intelligence will give various plans. When we sit for chanting, or when we sit for doing any spiritual activity for that matter, the mind will say, not now. And the intelligence will tell why not now. It will give n number of reasons. At times I ask questions to people who come to my sessions. Are you chanting? And they'll say, no, Prabhuji, not regularly. What happened? Why are you not able to do? And so many reasons people have, and it will be like genuine also. Where is it coming from? Intelligence. Mind does not want to do it, and intelligence is planning and telling why not to do it. So in this way, we understand that somehow or the other, the mind has become the master. So ideally, this is the situation. The last 2 slides for today. Ideally, this should be the situation. Please repeat. Indriyani paranyahu. Indriyabhya param manah. Manasastu para buddhir. Yo buddhe paratastu saha. Translation. Someone from Prabhuji's can read.
The working senses are superior to the dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence.
So this is the hierarchy. Dull matter. Our senses are higher than the dull matter. Mind is higher than our senses. Intelligence is higher than our mind. And we are higher than the intelligence. We, the spirit soul. But currently the mind has taken over the top position. And it is dictating. So after discussing so much about mind, one question remains, how to control the mind. And here is the last slide for today, the takeaway. The first one is, you remember the chariot analogy? What did we say there? Why is mind uncontrolled? Because intelligence is weak. Intelligence is weak. The first thing is make the intelligence strong. Now my question is how? How to make intelligence strong?
By knowing right things.
How do you know that? Especially in spiritual practice, what? Mantra meditation is there, but something, reading scriptures. See, one thing which I would like to tell everyone sitting here is, we have to master Bhagavad Gita. Please understand this point very clearly. When we read Bhagavad Gita thoroughly, look at the gems, those are there in Bhagavad Gita. Today I presented whatever is there in Bhagavad Gita, these different shlokas. Krishna is giving us the precise definition of various things. So we will know what is right and what is wrong. So the strong discrimination power comes from reading Shastra, scriptures. And as of now, we don't have much time to read all the Vedic scriptures. So it is described that all the Vedic scriptures are like cow. Arjuna is the calf. And the milkman is Krishna. And the milk is Bhagavad Gita. So when the calf is in front of the cow, the motherly affection increases, the milk comes out. Yes? So here we understand very clearly that the milk, the essence of all the Vedic scriptures is Bhagavad Gita. Let's master that. Let's master that. Yesterday, one boy came to me and he was telling me that no, 3 of my friends are getting converted to Christianity. Can you please help Prabhuji? No, I said, what can we do now? And yesterday he was telling me that there's maximum conversion that is going on, in Bangalore area. Now, who are the ones who get converted? The fools, who have not read Bhagavad Gita any time. Oh, this is so nice. Bible is so nice. Yeah, it is. But have you read of your thing? Have you? Yes, Buddhism is so nice. Have you read Bhagavad Gita first? The problem with us is we don't read our Shastra, we don't understand the glory of it, and always we feel the other side of the leaf is green. Oh, that is good, this is good, oh, that is trending, this is fashionable. This is nonsense. And first go deeper in Bhagavad Gita, no? Understand what it is. It is a Dharma Shastra. That itself we don't know. And tell me, when it comes to parents, how will parents nurture the kids and give them the right direction if they don't read Bhagavad Gita? If they don't know the principles of Gita, right? What directions they will give? Whatever the mind tells, that direction they will give. If they know Gita nicely, they know the principles about it, principles of it, if they are applying in day-to-day life, they can actually do justice to this word called parent. Otherwise, it's very difficult, right? So we have to make the intelligence strong by reading Shastra. Second thing is clear the previous impressions, the previous samskara. See, what is the difference between the various other meditation techniques and the mantra meditation? Many times people ask, no, I'm doing meditation every day. I sit, I close my eyes, I focus on my breath, I look at a candle flame, I do mindful meditation where I allow the thoughts to come and go. Okay, those are all meditation techniques. But all these different meditation techniques, they'll just suppress or cover the samskara for some time. Today you'll understand why mantra meditation is important. The different meditation techniques, they cover the samskara for some time. But you release, again samskara will pop up. But when it comes to mantra meditation, it goes deeper and cleanses the samskara. It removes the negative impressions which are there. This is the thing that mantra meditation does. I myself have experienced this, so I'm able to speak about it. I've seen many people experiencing this. All that samskara which is there, which is haunting, all that can be cleared off very nicely. All that sins which are there as samskara, all that can be cleared very nicely. So this clear the previous samskaras by doing mantra meditation. Very, very important. I would request all of you that please make sure you have this bead bag and beads with you and keep it in a prime place, where you see always. Because we keep seeing that, you'll pick up and you'll start chanting, at least in a day. At least one round you'll be able to do. And don't get tricked by the mind. Oh, I'll chant on fingers, I'll chant on counters. It's all trick of the mind. Prabhuji, I keep chanting all the time. I don't need a counter, I don't need beads. Follow what Shastras say. Shastras are telling chant on beads because beads are sacred. You'll also become sacred, you'll also become pure. So chanting on beads is very, very important. And for you all, it's more important because 1st of January, our advanced courses will start on Gita. And I've told you clearly, only if you're chanting one round every day and if you have minimum attendance of 6, you'll be promoted to that. I'm a bit strict about this because there's no point just attending session and not practicing. Because if you practice, then this theory will become realization. Then you can attend the advanced course and understand the advanced topics. Like for example, karma in depth. Now whatever karma session we discussed, that was on the gross platform. Karma in depth talks about the subtle platform, about addictions and other things. Now if we are not realizing the basic aspects in life, how can we understand those different aspects, right? So I request all of you that at least one round every single day. Every single day. Third one, give positive engagement to the mind. This is again a very important thing. See, till date, the entire world has given us negative impressions. I call it as the red balls. Jukebox, you understand jukebox? A box where you put the hand and then you remove something, you don't know what will come out. That's exactly how our mind is. So this world has added many negative impressions, many red balls are added. So it's natural when I close my eyes, garbage will only come out because garbage is there inside, right? And then when we start practicing spirituality, that's a positive engagement. Now more white balls are getting added to it. Initially when we start practicing, people say, Prabhuji, but still, when I close my eyes, I'm getting all negative thoughts. Baba, red balls are more than your white balls. Increase your white balls. Hmm? With more and more spiritual practice, the red balls will remain down, the white balls will go up, up, and up. Literally, you have to struggle a lot to go deeper to get that negative impression. And it will be a natural course of action where you put your hand and the white ball comes out. And for your information, the positive engagement is the spiritual practices, attending the arti, though those different festivals that we have, the Abhishek of the Lord that is there, chanting, hearing. Now, when you're hearing different concepts here, it will make an impression for sure in the mind. When last time when we heard the Damodar pastime, if you have heard it attentively, that might have made a strong impression on the mind. These are all the white balls those we need in our day-to-day life to keep ourselves always positive. And the last one, chastise the mind. Mind will keep telling a lot of things. Maro अच्छे से. Especially when you want to get up early in the morning or chant or whatever, the mind will say not now, and immediately we should do that. Initially, in spiritual life, it should be by force, and later it will be by inspiration. I hope everyone is clear with this. Initially, it will be force because mind is trained in a particular way, and it will be difficult to change. So we have to force the mind to change the course of action, and then it becomes natural. Then it becomes natural. So I stop here. Any questions? Any questions? Yes, please.
Sometimes when we do mantra meditation, we are not able to concentrate on that. We are able to chant, but
Correct.
our mind will go here and there.
See, this is a natural phenomenon which happens with everyone. Yes. So here, when Arjuna was saying that I cannot control the mind, so the next sloka, Krishna is giving solution. By the way, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes the problem statement and he only gives solution. So Arjuna spoke it, and then Krishna gives a solution. He says, Abhyasenu tu kaunteya. Practice, he says, practice. So initially, you should trick the mind when the mind is tricking you. So during chanting, we should tell the mind, this one mantra I want to hear clearly. This one mantra, which I'm going to chant now. This one mantra. And then you hear that clearly. And then this one more mantra, one mantra, one mantra. So like this, with time, what will happen is maybe initially, because of our neophyte stage, we might not be able to hear all the mantras. At least one will be able to hear. With practice, it might become 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. It might come to 100 with practice. And literally it works. After a decade of practice of mantra meditation, we are able to focus for a maximum amount of time and really helps. Another thing that we have to do is we should pray to the Lord. Yes. Because Lord is Rishikesha. He is the controller of all the senses and the mind also. So we should tell the Lord, oh Lord, it's your energy I cannot control. You please control and help me to focus. So these are two things that we need to do. Trick the mind. One mantra I want to hear clearly. And second thing is we have to offer prayers to the Lord. Please help me, Lord. This will help.
How can we stop comparing us with others?
So this is a disease basically, the disease of comparison that is there. More we progress on the path of spirituality, what happens? Our consciousness goes higher and higher. See, comparison comes when we are at a very lower consciousness on the material platform all the time. अरे उसके पास ये है मेरे पास नहीं. It's almost like small kids, That toy, yes, I don't have. And the parent says, you have this toy. But we don't realize, we look for big toys. Oh, that person has this toy, I don't have. So because we are on the gross platform, since our consciousness is very, very low on the gross platform, we compare. But spiritual practice, mantra meditation, these different sessions, etc., raises our consciousness to a higher platform where we'll get least affected with who has what. Because we understand finally that everything is temporary in this world. What I have got is based on my karma from the past. So when the consciousness goes higher, the thought process is very evolved. That evolved thought process is very important to stop comparing. Or else it's very difficult. For a normal person who's not practicing bhakti, that person will be miserable. Throughout his life, he'll just keep comparing. Throughout his life. But for one who is practicing bhakti consistently, we will see slowly and steadily how the person goes higher and higher and higher in consciousness. The thought process gets evolved, and this comparison disease will be reduced to a very great extent. One last question if you want to ask.
Prabhuji, you mentioned that the soul carries the
Subtle body carries a samskara.
Now, if it does not have intelligence, then how can the samskaras be innate? I was not able
No, intelligence is there, no? See, soul and subtle body. So subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, false ego. So it will go like that. Okay, thank you very much. I hope the session was useful and it will help you practically in your day-to-day life. We have spoken so much about mantra meditation. Let's do it now. So if you all want, you can stand up, stretch your legs, and receive the beats